Hey, fellow gun enthusiasts. Imagine clutching a 45 ACP round. It's not just ammo. It's a chunk of raw American firepower that's been smashing threats since 1911. Born from jungle battles where lighter calibers flopped, this beast delivers a heavy-hitting punch that still drops jaws among 9mm loyalists. Today, we're ripping apart myths, uncovering wild history, and sharing real-talk stories that'll make you question your EDC. From World War II wheel guns to suppressed PCCs, get ready for laughs, facts, and why the 45 reigns supreme. Loving this? Hit like, subscribe to Survival Gear Showcase, and let's gear up together. Historical origins and development. Alright, let's kick this off by going back to where it all started, the steamy jungles of the Philippines during the Philippine-American War. Picture this: U.S. soldiers facing off against Moro, warriors who were hopped up on adrenaline or whatever, and the 38 long Colt revolvers they were packing just weren't cutting it. These guys would take hit after hit and keep charging like they were invincible. Word spread fast back home, and the Army's ordnance folks knew they needed a real man-stopper. Enter John Browning, the genius who cooked up the 45 ACP, a straight-walled rimless cartridge slinging a hefty 230-grain slug at about 830 feet per second. It wasn't about blazing speed. It was all about shoving serious mass into the fight, delivering that knockout punch when lives were on the line. Fast forward, and this round gets paired with the legendary M1911 pistol designed from scratch for combat. It saw action through 2 world wars, becoming the go-to for reliability in the mud and chaos. But here's a fun twist. During World War I, we didn't have enough 1911 to go around, so the Army hit up Colt and Smith & Wesson for revolvers chambered in 45 ACP. Bam, the M1917 was born. They reworked big frame wheel guns like the Colt New Service and S&W hand ejector to handle the rimless rounds. The secret sauce? Half-moon clips holding 3 rounds each. Drop in 2 clips and you're good to go, quick loading and easy ejection. I've handled one of these old beasts at the range, and let me tell you, they're smooth operators. Heavy enough to tame the recoil, with triggers that feel like butter. No wonder they hung around through Korea. Imagine single loading without clips in a pinch. Yeah, it's a pain-picking brass one by one, but it works. This adaptation proved the 45 ACP wasn't tied to semis. It's shown in revolvers too, solving logistics headaches and showing its versatility. In my experience, firing these classics feels like connecting with history. You're not just shooting, you're reliving battles where this round turned the tide. And get this, it all stemmed from real-world failures of lighter calibers. If you're a history buff with a safe full of relics, grab an M1917 replica and feel that authority. Design, features, and handling characteristics. Now, let's talk shop about what makes the 45 ACP tick in the hand. Subsonic from the get-go. It's built for that low-pressure vibe around 21,000 pounds per square inches, pushing a heavy bullet with a firm but forgiving recoil. Forget the forum myths where folks act like it's a mule kick. In a full-size steel-frame 1911, it's more like a solid shove straight back. No wild snap like a .357 Magnum in a snubby, or the whip of a hot plus P9mm in a compact. That slower, heavier slug creates a rolling recoil you can ride, making follow-ups feel natural, almost rhythmic. I've introduced new shooters to 45, and their eyes light up when they realize it's not the monster they expected. The weight of a government model soaks up the energy, and the low bore axis keeps the muzzle flat. Add in that slim single-stack grip, and you've got a setup that locks into your hands like it belongs there. Modern touches like better metallurgy and hollow points keep it competitive, expanding reliably for max energy dump without over-penetrating walls or bad guys. It's all about control and power and balance, not chasing paper stats. But hey, if you've tried it in a lightweight polymer rig, yeah, it might feel snappier. That's where the myths come from. Stick to steel or alloy frames, like a SIG or CZ clone, and it's a dream. Picture drilling steel plates at the range. The 45 thumps them with authority, no drama. In self-defense drills, that predictable push lets you stay on target, stacking shots where they count. Compared to 9mm higher capacity but lighter hit, the 45 prioritizes stopping power. I've run both in timed courses, and while 9mm is zippy, the 45 feels like it's got your back in a real scrap. If you're building your first 1911, start with standard loads to get the feel. Trust me, you'll be hooked on that big bore confidence. Enhanced variants and evolutions. Okay, gearheads. If the standard 45 ACP has you hooked, but you're itching for more oomph, let's geek out on the hot-rodded versions. These aren't just tweaks, they're serious upgrades that build on the original's foundation, pushing boundaries for hunters, competitors, and anyone wanting extra edge. First up, the 45 Super looks like your everyday ACP case but beefed up for hotter loads. In a tuned 1911 with a stouter recoil spring and supported chamber, it cranks 230 grain bullets north of 1,000 feet per second, hitting 10mm energy levels. I've blasted steel with it, and man, it flattens targets like a hammer. Loud, snappy, but oh so satisfying. It's like giving your grandpa's round a caffeine shot for bear defense or hard-hitting carry. Then there's the 460 Rowland, a beast that turns your pistol into a woods warrior. Needs a conversion kit, often with a comp to tame the rifle-like pressures. Slinging 255 grain hardcasts over 1,300 feet per second. Hog hunters swear by it. I've seen videos of it dropping porkers clean at 50 yards. No need for a revolver, just your trusty semi-auto transform. It's niche, but if you're trekking backcountry, it's a game changer. Don't sleep on the 45 GAP. Glock's brainchild with Spear back in 2003. Shorter case for slimmer grips like 9mm frames. Matching ACP ballistics at higher pressures. 23,000, 25,000 pounds per square inches. Agencies like Georgia State Patrol issued it in G37 and such, mirroring G17 sizes. Shot one myself capable, but ammo scarcity killed the buzz. It's a footnote now, but proves the 45 family's adaptability. And for the obscure fans, the 45 Detonix Magnum bottlenecks it for high-speed weirdness. Point is, the 45 isn't fossilized, it's evolved. Applications and firearms platforms. Let's shift gears to how the 45 ACP plays across different guns. It's like that reliable buddy who shows up for any job, born for pistols. But man, it owns submachine guns too. Think Thompson SMG. Firing that thing feels like channeling Al Capone, with smooth recoil and a steady climb. The heavy, subsonic bullet shines in close quarters, dumping energy without blasting through walls or deafening you like rifle rounds. I've run one at a historical shoot, and it's all authority inside 25 yards, perfect for clearing rooms or hallways. Then there's the M3 grease gun, that ugly duckling from World War II that stuck around through Korea and even Nam with tank crews. Stamped metal simplicity, feeding the same 45 hardball, controllable in full auto, and tough as nails. Fast forward to modern PCCs like the Chris Vector, its funky recoil system shoves energy downward, keeping the muzzle glued to the target. I've dumped mags through one, and rapid fire feels cheatingly easy. No Mac 10 bucking, just flat, fast hits. And suppression? The 45 natural subsonic speed makes it a dream, quiet, clean, no special loads needed. But wait, it got gritty in Vietnam tunnels. Tunnel rats crawling with M1911S face nightmare CQB. Darkness. Traps. Inches from the enemy. The 45 heavy slug stopped threats cold. Minimal overpenetration to avoid ricochets. One shot had to count, and it did terminal ballistics you could bet on. Downside? That muzzle blast in confined spaces was like a grenade to your ears and eyes. Some switched to suppressed. 22 seconds for stealth, but many stuck with the 45 for its punch. I've simulated it in tight indoor ranges, intense, but you get why it earned trust. And don't think it's pistol only. Folks stuff it into long guns too. The Marlin Camp Carbine 45 is a gem blowback semi-auto feeding 1,911 mags, light and soft shooting for home defense or woods walks. Stretch it to 75 to 100 yards with better velocity from the barrel. Modern takes like High Point's 4595 TS or Vector CRB add stability, tightening groups while keeping recoil pancake flat. Reloading and practical advantages. If you're the type who loves tinkering at the bench, the 45 ACP is your playground, easy, rewarding, and forgiving as hell. Straight-walled, rimless cases slide through presses like butter, whether progressive or single-stage. Brass is everywhere at ranges, durable, and lasts multiple reloads thanks to that low 21,000 pounds per square inches pressure. No chasing razor-thin margins like bottleneck rifles. It's chill for load development. Bullet options? Endless 155 to 230 grains in cast, plated, or jacketed. I've whipped up soft 185 grain match loads for plates, or heavy 230 subsonics for cans. Powders play nice with the big case volume, letting you tune for anything. Subsonic by nature, it pairs perfectly with suppressors, no fussing for quiet burns. High-volume shooters save bucks reloading, dialing in that perfect feel. Picture this. You're prepping for a match, loading batches that group like lasers, or building suppressed plinkers that whisper. I've done both, and it's satisfying feels like customizing your ride. Compared to finicky calibers, the 45 low drama means more range time, less headaches. If you're new to reloading, start here. It's a confidence builder.
Overall relevance and legacy. Wrapping this up, the 45 app legacy boils down to one word: consistency. Over a century old, it is still the go-to for folks who want a round that hits like a freight train without the fluff. That 230 grain slug moves slow, punches deep, with battle-tested proof from trenches to tunnels. I have run it in everything 1911 for that classic feel, sis for fun drills, even moon-clipped wheel guns for a retro kick. Every time, it delivers. Clean power, no excuses. Sure, it is heavier, guns thicker, capacity lower than 9mm stacks. But if your game's threat stopping up close, it shines predictable, controllable, drama-free. Modern fans chase splits and mod, but the 45 prioritizes real-world grit in a scrap that mass matters more than metrics. I have compared it head-to-head, 9mm great for volume, but 45 feels like insurance. To sum it, you do not pick 45 for trends. You pick it for trust. It is evolved, adapted, and outlasted doubters. If you are a 9mm diehard, try one might shock you. History, handling, versatility, it is all there. Hey, if this deep dive fired you up, hit like, subscribe to Survival Gear Showcase, and ring the bell for more gear breakdowns. What is your take on 45 versus 9mm? Drop it in the comments.